Hi, I'm State Senator Lisa Baker. Welcome to the Baker Report. Today we're visiting Mission Central in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Come inside and learn about the good works that are occurring both here in the Harrisburg region, but that are touching folks in northeastern Pennsylvania. Well, I'm here with Pastor Rob Visscher. Am I saying that
yes,
properly?
Rob Visscher. Mm-hmm.
Rob Visscher, and Pastor Bob Ryder, who is my pastor from the Lehman-Idetown United Methodist Church here at Mission Central. And I'm delighted to be with you today to learn about what is a very exciting program for the Susquehanna Conference in the United Methodist Church in Pennsylvania.
Yes, thank you, Senator. We're glad to have you here. We are a 48,000 square foot warehouse. We're 11 years old this year. Vision of Bishop Neil Irons, who set out that vision to create a place like this for churches to come together collectively to be the hands and feet of Christ, to work in mission and ministry, to be more than a bureaucracy, but actually living out our faith. We are very intentional about being ecumenical and interdenominational and interfaith, and connecting even with secular agencies to connect God's resources with human need throughout the region, throughout the nation, and around the world. So we're excited about that.
So as we learn a little bit more today about Mission Central and the role that you play, tell us what's stored here. How do we get the goods and products that are here in the warehouse out to the people in need?
Well, we work mainly through a whole bunch of other ministries, so we're very unique in equipping ministries. As United Methodist, we work on what's called UMCOR kits. UMCOR meaning United Methodist Committee on Relief. They're relief kits for disaster response and mission outreach that are created by the denomination with Church World Service and the World Health Organizations. So we're all creating the same type of kit. And so that's our network that ties us all together as United Methodists, and that's our core work as United Methodists. And then we partner with hundreds of other ministries in equipping them to do their work, whether it be locally here, such as Bethesda Mission, New Digs Ministry, Computer Ministries, all those ministries that you'll see as we tour through the warehouse today, that are helping folks right here in our area and in the northeast part of the state, but then also around the nation and the world.
Pastor Ryder.
Yes.
Pastor Bob, I have to call you that. I know that as we're linked as a congregation in northeastern Pennsylvania to Mission Central, how does that work back at home and in our community? Tell our viewers how we network back through this, but about our hub at home.
We have set up, as Mission Central, we've actually set up a whole series of other locations that are staffed by volunteers. They're not really ours as much as they are the responsibility, the ownership of people out in the field. Pennsylvania, all up through the Northeast as well. 27 hubs that are part of what we do. So volunteers in those other areas don't have to make the long journey here necessarily, but can go to their local hub. We have one there in West Wyoming at what used to be Shoemaker United Methodist Church. Now that facility has been turned into a sort of a mini warehouse where we assemble those UMCOR kits that Rob was talking about, and we bring them here. In fact, I think your trunk is full of them.
My trunk is full, and we will be making sure that we unload it for use. Absolutely.
So in those sites, those hub sites, we do the kits, but we also do other ministries, much like this central location, where, for instance, in West Wyoming, we have the equivalent of a New Digs ministry, which provides used furniture to those who might need it, right? And we do, if there's kits that we think are needed in the local area that are not necessarily United Methodist Committee on Relief kits, we will make those kits also and supply those locally.
And I know after the flooding in the last couple of years, that was something that we were providing to neighbors and residents of
Absolutely. And the interesting thing was we were making flood recovery buckets, kits, you'll see some in the warehouse, there in West Wyoming, and supplying them back here to this warehouse. But when those floods occurred, we were able to take those that were right there on site and have them dispatched to those in need, and then have more come back from here back up to Northeast Pennsylvania and supply to help clean up.
Why don't we take a look at inside the warehouse?
This room here is our work room. You see volunteers here working, and I recognize some of these faces from here in Camp Hill. But the donations come in to us in bulk and sometimes ready to go, but they need to be verified, all of the kits that they're working on.
That's great. Everything a student would need to be comfortable going back to school and having all the resources they
Right.
need.
And these could be used locally or around the state, or around the nation, or overseas. So we need to make them uniform.
How many each year do we put together through here?
Thousands. I have to check that number, to be honest with you.
That's
but
okay.
I'm better with the cleanup buckets. I can give you those
Okay.
numbers
We're
quick,
gonna go
rattle
take
those
a
off.
look at that.
Yeah, 48,000 square feet warehouse, and you see it's full of materials ready to go to help those in need. You see over here some young gentlemen working on cleaning buckets. These guys, I believe, are with Youth Works. Is that the right
Good morning.
crowd? Good morning. This is Senator Baker,
Good
who's
morning.
here visiting us today.
Nice to meet you.
And where are
Thank
you
you.
folks from?
Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay, New Jersey. In Connecticut, okay. Youth Works is an organization that sends volunteers to Mission Central every year. We get them all across the country, as well as locally. And here, these folks are from our Northeast region. But you see the thousands of cleaning buckets that are ready to go to help folks in need. As the Senator already mentioned, our hub network is our framework to get that out in times of flooding. In 2011, over 5,000 buckets went up through the Northeast region to help folks in need. We usually keep about 2,000 to 3,000 on stock. Would one of you like to show her what's in one of the buckets? So just grab one right there behind her. Okay. And so what we do,
Put 'em right here.
these stay domestically. These are not shipped overseas, but we do like to ensure that all the products are in good condition and good quality. You see there's various cleaning products in there. Also masks, these are very important for dust and mold and that type of thing when you're working. There's laundry detergent, some household disinfect. There's all sorts of scrubby materials. There's some air freshener, some personal bug spray, the clothespins, clotheslines, and there should be some heavy-duty trash bags. Now, I don't know if they're in that bucket yet, if that's still in the verifying process, but they will be put in there. Just some small items to help folks after their home has been flooded. Oftentimes, we sometimes feel like, really, is this all we can do? But it's $65 value, and it means so much to the folks that somebody cares
Pastor,
when we show
I
up with
would
that
agree
and
with
hand
you,
that out.
and
So,
having visited many flood victims over the course of the last couple of years, unfortunately in northeastern Pennsylvania we've been hard hit, and when families come and see this, it's a real source. They don't have to worry about trying to gather that. It's peace of mind. It's right at their fingertips.
right.
So it's very important, and
And
I
we
know they're
often-
very grateful.
They are, because we often get emails back or little notes because our address and name is on there, and it's really great to hear that too, and folks say that they're so thankful for that.
They do. Thank you so much. Enjoy your time here.
Each little slot has an address, so we have that in our inventory control. This section here is staging area, so that's either loads coming in or going out. You see medical equipment that'll be going to Honduras. You see also lots of seasonal merchandise that's donated to us by Giant Food Corporation, and that allows us to equip ministries to do different things. You know, if you're doing a food pantry and
The overall
you want to add something
funding
to that,
for this comes from
donations.
corporate donors, all from various
Mainly individuals and small groups and churches. We do get a
congregations.
couple small corporate donations, but a lot of it is just individuals and civic groups and church groups, Sunday school classes.
So if someone
all
were
donations.
interested in making a donation to support your efforts, whether they're a company watching or an individual, how can they get in touch with Mission Central?
Well, we can go on our website, www.missioncentral.org, and go to donations if you want to make a financial contribution. We have that capability right there. Or call us at 717-766-1533 and get a hold of us.
And we will make sure that that information appears on the screen
Sure.
so that individuals watching this taping will be able to connect with Mission Central.
It's amazing how many of our donors are just individuals and churches. That really is the majority of our funding. Our vision in the next coming years is to broaden that, to broaden awareness, so that more individuals would know of what we're doing and be part of what we're doing, part of this ministry, but also to find corporate donors and those who can fund some of the bigger initiatives. we do some pretty big missions here. We recently sent an MRI to
Honduras. The capital
An
city.
MRI machine. Of course, the cost of just shipping that is astronomical. So there might be organizations that would like to undertake or underwrite this kind of larger missions that we do.
Well, people see food, and I know that Giant Food has been a major source
Bethesda
of.
Mission handles that. We'll show you that in just a minute. But one thing I do want to say is collectively between $9 and $10 million worth of material travels through this warehouse annually to help folks in need, locally, nationally, and globally. And our operating budget is less than $500,000. We could not do it without volunteers and, of course, the donors that do support that budget. But thousands of volunteers come through here, just, you know, as you spoke to earlier. It's like having a staff of 15 every day. But I want to show you Computer Ministries and also Bethesda Mission section.
And I do have a computer in the car.
Okay, great.
So we can unload the vehicle.
This whole lower section is usually filled with thousands of computers. Right now, this is one of the areas where we're restructuring and moving some racking around and different things for better efficiency. But Computer Ministries is a ministry that operates out of our warehouse that has two purposes, and one is to keep this stuff out of the landfills. In fact, they are registered with the state as a collection point for computers. And then two is to get technology in the hands of those that need it. They are licensed by Microsoft and certified by Microsoft to do that. They pay Microsoft $6 for every license that they relicense on a computer. They've sent over 11,000 computers to 50 countries, as well as helping folks domestically and throughout the northeast region of the state. I know many small groups or churches that need computers can come here and get a computer for $6 through Computer Ministries. They don't usually pass that cost on to the missionaries that are building schools around the world, and they're equipping them with networks. We've recently sent to University of Tanzania and to Sierra Leone and all sorts of places. But again, we work domestically as well, and folks can make donations
So a family
here.
who's upgrading their home computer could easily offer that and bring it in, and we repurpose it for other people to use.
And if it is not refurbishable, or if you will, then they do get it into the proper recycling system. And then the funding that they get for all of that is how they can then do all of the computing needs for Mission Central. Doesn't cost me anything. They take care of all of that for us in exchange for their rent, our security, our internet, our server. And they also help other ministries with cash grants with that money as well. So they're really all about helping folks in need. So
and
it's really neat.
A tool to learning has been access to a computer, and for many families, many communities, it's very difficult. They can't afford to do it, so this is a great way to give them the resources
and
they
in
need.
disaster response, one of the things they're able to do is, for example, with some of the flooding, we had a church that had a after-school program with computers. It was totally wiped out, and they didn't have the funds to replace that. Computer Ministries was able to get them the equipment to get that lab up and running again to help those families in need in those groups in those communities. So it's a really neat thing. On this side of this quarter of the warehouse is Bethesda Mission. You see all sorts of food and consumables. This is the Bethesda Mission Outreach Ministry. So they deal with all kinds of food. So if anybody calls Mission Central and says they have a food donation, I defer it to Bethesda. But then Bethesda will equip us with food if we need it. For example, in 2011 in the northern part of the state, and I think even up towards your region, there was communities that needed food in those first few hours as they were responding to that disaster. We were able to get food up there from Bethesda. They also equip 170 food pantries mid-level throughout the region. And so that all happens out of this warehouse. They have 3 staff members here and a couple of trucks, and it's a really neat operation to see that. Everything's donated to them and they give it all out. This little area here is sort of our clothing sorting area. We don't solicit clothing, but it still comes in, and at Mission Central we try to find a home for everything and not waste anything. So what we're able to do is many of the heavy winter clothing stays in the region, and then the other clothing is sorted by summer and fall, male gender, female gender, and adult child, and can be added to shipments that go around the world, or it can be used locally if a food clothing closet needs some clothing or something, we give it to them. Behind me, you see lots of medical equipment. Hundreds of thousands of medical equipment comes through this warehouse in a year to help folks in need. It's used domestically here locally. Folks that are in need can get equipment. And it's also our biggest partner is Project Cure out of Denver, Colorado, who equips clinics and hospitals around the world with repurposable or reusable surplus medical equipment from the States. I was telling your staff earlier about insured drinks that we don't deal with any kind of medicine, but we do accept those because we're part of a network that will help folks that are underinsured or no insurance that need that, especially cancer patients, and we've been able to help a lot of folks throughout the region with that as well. And then the far ministry you see there is New Digs Ministry. We can start walking over there with the furniture.
I know a colleague of ours in the Senate retired and sold her apartment here, and her gift back was to provide the unused furniture and things that she could not take back to her home. And I thought, what a wonderful opportunity to give a family in need.
It is. It's amazing to see
quality
that. And we've seen the gamut from stuff from hotels to somebody had bought a couch new and decided they didn't like it and they donated it here. What a blessing for somebody that needs a new couch. And as Pastor Bob mentioned, you have a mini version of this up in the Shoemaker Hub. But what happens here is all the furniture and equipment is donated, and families that are in need can get everything they need, the pots and pans, the linens, all of the furniture to equip their home, whether it be from a flood, fire, or whatever reason that they're trying to reestablish a household. They do it through referral agents, so a pastor or someone like yourself or a business person that can refer someone in and say this person truly is in need, and then they help them out. They did, I believe it was nearly $500,000 in the Harrisburg region, this ministry last year. You have a small model of this in Shoemaker.
We do. At Shoemaker, actually, it's a church building, and the basement is where we assemble kits for the most part. And then what used to be the sanctuary is where we have a lot of, looks very similar. I mean, not without the racks, but still many pieces of furniture, different types of furniture that people can come and look at, see if it's a fit for their current needs. So we do a very similar ministry there at the Shoemaker Hub.
And our hub in the Lehigh Valley is also modeled after this program, does it in that region as well.
Operating costs for a big warehouse, as you know, turning the lights on every day is difficult, but when you're partnering with various organizations, it
helps, yes.
Yeah. The impact is far greater.
Sure.
Yeah. Right. And how many ministries do we house here?
There's about 5 or 6 major ministries, and then there's another 10 or 15 just smaller ones that are in and out, or the short-term time, or might just have a small space. So, yeah.
There was at one time a church that would just ship a pallet of stuff to their missionaries, and they would come and that's all their volunteers would come, they'd have their little space with their pallet, they would stack that and get it ready and ship it. And that's what they did. The space was a space where they could assemble those items and get them out to the missionaries. So, in and out kind of ministry. But where else would you go to do something like that?
That's what makes us so unique, is we're able to provide this space to equip and undergird the work that they're doing, and that's how we can have such an impact of millions of lives, around the globe. So,
and I know as people in our church often hear, what does it mean? How can we help? And they bring things to the church to be assembled, and I'm sure many of our congregation have never visited Mission Central. Today is my first trip, and I think it's a wonderful opportunity for us to really see firsthand.
Yes. I'd encourage churches to do a field trip to this location. We have done that, our church has done that. We're planning another one for this fall. We're going to do it on a Saturday so that we have anyone who wants to go, our youth group as well, just to come and actually spend a little time assembling kits so they get a feel for how that works, but then get a tour and hear of what we call God moments, of these miracles that God is doing through this ministry. So I would encourage churches to consider that kind of a field trip. And then also to find out where their local hub is at, like the Shoemaker Hub in West Wyoming. We have people who go every single week and volunteer in the hub from our church. That's the ministry they've sort of adopted. And you just can make such an impact, and it's right there close by. It's something you can do pretty easily. The ministry's already laid out. We There's a sheet that shows you how to build a kit, materials are there, and you're making a difference without having to put a lot of time and effort into getting the stuff together.
And that was part of the idea with the Hub Network, is so folks could do that in their local community as well to support us. And either way, they could be at the Hub or here, so it's easy to plug in. I want to show you a donation station since you brought us some donations today. So what would happen is you'll pull up your car and come to this door, and you'd be asked to fill out one of these donation receipts here at the donation station. Drew is manning the station today, but he's also working in the warehouse, so he bounces back and forth. And we have volunteers here usually to greet folks and help them unload their vehicles. And if for some reason they're busy, there is a doorbell system as well.
Pastor Rob, this is from the Shoemaker Hub, Pastor Bob.
Great.
And I have a trunk full too. So
Do you have a
Okay.
trunk full as well? And here is the
Here's the
receipt.
paperwork, right?
Paperwork
Okay, very
from
good.
Christy, and as I look through here, there's a host of different things. There's computer equipment, the bags that have been already put together, and fascinated, she said that you like to use repurposing of old greeting cards for use, whether it's to send a note or
We also create candy kits that can be used by organizations to go visit the nursing home, or if they're doing a trunk or treating or outreach, and we just put little greetings on there. And again, we do that domestically,
So-
locally, and we've even sent to Honduras in Spanish some at Christmas time. So,
great
yeah.
way for people who don't know what to do with their Christmas cards
Sure,
or holiday
yes.
greeting cards, and someone else will get to enjoy it as well.
We try not to waste anything if we can help it here, so it's great.
Now, we're looking at these kits, Pastor.
Right, these are the school kits
These
that
are
you were
the
looking
school
at
kits.
earlier.
So
Mhm.
we
with the
looked
notebooks.
earlier, and
And the
these were
pencils
packed by the
rulers.
Shoemaker Hub. So
And I think we have another kit here too. I thought I saw.
And
Maybe not.
these
Here
cloth
we
bags are all made to a specification so that they're sturdy, that the kids can use them over and over. Yes, here's the health kits. These will be used either domestically, we used these in 2011 with the flooding just locally and up throughout your region, but there's a towel and a washcloth and some soap and a toothbrush and a comb and some nail clippers, a couple of Band-Aids, and then we usually also supply toothpaste with this as well. We don't put the toothpaste in when we make it because toothpaste expires, and so we want
you
folks
need to
to
be
have good quality toothpaste when they receive this.
The experience is great. Just seeing what an organization like this can do and how they can help others. It's unique. I feel like other people, just go out and serve, but this organization connects the donors and the recipients in a special way.
Marcia, it's great to spend some time here at Mission Central. You are serving as the board president.
Yes.
How long have you been involved, and what brought you
Well,
to be a leader in what is viewed as a really far-reaching missionary opportunity?
well, I'll tell you what. I had just retired, and I have a second cousin who is a pastor and very involved here, Jeff Fisher. And he said to me, they're trying to raise money for the warehouse. Would you be interested in helping? And I said, well, I'll come over and see if I can be of help. Well, you've been here. You know the magnetism that is here.
Once you step foot in the door, you're hooked.
You're hooked.
And you'll
Yes.
you'll
And-
continue to be involved. Your biggest challenge or your biggest accomplishment since being part of creating this warehouse, what?
I have seen it grown and become more professional. I have seen this building evolve into what you see it being now, very functional. The missions that work out of this warehouse, we're very unique in that we provide the source for you to come in and say, I have a mission that I would like to do. And we find all the methods, all the paths, all the legalities that you have to go through happen here so that you and your mission can function properly. And there is many opportunity here for other people who want to do what I did, come in and get involved and get their mission heart actively involved. And you know, you find out that you have a season in mission. You peak with mission as to what you can do, and then you help someone else to come in so that you can pass the baton to them so that they can have their journey of being a mission warrior.
I really appreciate you coming today, Senator, and thankful for your support through the Shoemaker Hub and through your work in Harrisburg. We're very thankful for that. And we welcome folks to join us in this journey. As Marcia had mentioned, you can contact us again on the website at missioncentral.org. We're visioning continuing into the second decade of our ministry, strategically to maintain this facility, expand our hub network, and the projects that God will reveal to us in the coming years. So we're really looking forward to that.
Pastor Rob, Pastor Bob, I want to thank you for being part of the Baker Report today and giving an opportunity for our viewers in northeastern Pennsylvania to get a glimpse inside Mission Central. And hopefully, as people are watching today, they'll find a way to connect both here in our own community and across the country and across the nation. It's very exciting what you're doing here. I'm honored to be here, and I want to thank you for the good work that you're doing. I know you'll continue to keep up the good work, and I look forward to being involved as a member of my home community and as a member of the Lehman Idetown United Methodist Church with Pastor Bob. Thank you so much for the opportunity to
Thank you for
showcase
visiting us.
Thank
we
you,
appreciate
the good work that's occurring that many people have not had a chance to see.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.